Oi, what's going on, people? I don't know why it still says Championship Game 5. Oh, wait, because that's when we played number 4. But boy, it ain't Championship Game 5 no more. It is Championship, not Game 35, but Game 37. Leeds United versus Sheffield Wednesday. A huge game coming up tonight. Let me just wait a second for all of the lads to get in here. But today we are playing Sheffield Wednesday away from home, and it is a huge game. Every other team we're up against in this promotion battle, I'm talking Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich, all playing tomorrow. So this is Leeds' chance to get a nice head start and pile the pressure on everyone else. The one thing we cannot afford to do, my friends, is lose. Because if we lose this game, and we go into the weekend giving all of those teams confidence to build on, to build gaps away from us, to pull apart from us, that is where we have serious issues going forward. So, what we got to do is get this game done, get it out of the way, because listen, those boys are tired. They're shattered. They have been run through the ringer, a lot of those players. They really have been, and it's not really a pleasant sight. We all looked at how we performed during the week. We all looked at how we performed in that 1-0 win. It really flattered to deceive at times. It was really quite a poor, cumbersome performance from Leeds. And it wasn't one that filled any of us with a lot of optimism. But I decided to look at the positive spin on things. I decided to sit there and say, look, if I'm being honest with you, this team is tired. We've played, 3 games in about 6 days, sorry. We've been in a cup competition. We've been going all fours out in the league. We haven't had that much squad rotation. You can understand as to why these players will be tired, which is why, for me, this game is its own separate microcosm. We've got a week, 8 days technically rest after this game until our next game. So this is when we need to really pull our finger out, recover the players, rejuvenate the squad. But before that, we need a big win today, and I think we are very capable of getting it. I don't think Sheffield Wednesday are anything special. I know because of where they are in their table, this is going to be a huge game for them. They can pull their season up, they can revive their season with a game here, with a win here, or even a point could really help them massively, and especially because of the fact it will be taking points away from Leeds. They would absolutely love that. They would adore that, which is something that we cannot afford to happen and something that we need to be wary of. I reckon Sheffield Wednesday are going to come at us. They're going to try and get an early goal. They're going to try and use the home fans to try and really build upon and try and attack Leeds in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And I know you don't always see that as a Leeds fan. A lot of the time we see teams sit back and try and hit us with a pop shot. But I think what teams are starting to realise is if you get the early goal against Leeds, that is where the problems arise for Leeds. Is because, listen, then we have to sit there and try and break you down, and then they can just sit 2 banks of 4, and we've seen how uncreative Leeds are. We're about as creative as a blank page of A4 paper at times when it comes to breaking down sides that try and defend against us. So I believe that is what they are going to try and do. We've got 7 people in here, by the way. Shout out to you guys. Can we get some scores on the doors, please? What are your score predictions for this game? For me, listen, I'm going to go early doors. I'm going to go with a confident one. I'm saying 4-0. I think we are going to absolutely smack them today. We are going to cream them left, right, and centre. Cream them like a coffee. It's going to be a beautiful game for Leeds. I think it's going to be quite a destructive game, and I think it's going to be a game where Leeds are going to finally silence a lot of the critics about how tired we are, about our performances, about the fact that we dropped 2 games on the spin. And I think that this is going to be Leeds going into what is now another win streak from now until the end of the season. We need to make this 2 wins on the spin, give ourselves some good momentum going into next week, good momentum going into the weekend when everyone else plays, and that's what I feel is going to happen, man. I'm feeling confident, man. I am going to just go through a couple of the news stories, by the way. Check out some of the early team news, some news for you guys to have a look at. Now, the main question mark surrounding Leeds, first of all, that I want to touch on. 4-1 Leeds, Alfie Brown. Ailing start. Oh, yeah. No, don't worry about the lineups. As you can probably gather, hey, Silver Fox is not starting for Sheffield Wednesday. They actually sold him in the last transfer window, so don't worry about the lineups. These are from last time we played them. I just used the same graphic because, you know, yada, yada, yada. X, Y, and Z. It's just the same graphic, so forget the team lineups. 4-1 Alfie Brown. How are you guys, by the way? Shout out Michael Pollard, sorry. Not Michael Pallet, sorry. Michael Pollard. And shout out Alfie Brown. Yeah, there is something of it. Yes, so the main story that everyone has been talking about, really, when it comes to Leeds, has been Crescencio Somerville. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he should be dropped? He should be played? A lot of people think that he's carrying an injury. I think it's just a little bit of a confidence issue. I think he's trying a little bit too hard, just like Rutter, personally. He was seen with an ice pack on his ankle after being taken off with 10 minutes left in last week's match. Fark recently said on Wednesday's pre-match conference that he expected the same matchday squad, revealing that Jaden Anthony would still be missing after missing the midweek game before. Sam Byram returned, obviously played 88 minutes before being replaced by Firpo, who I thoroughly expect to start for Leeds, to be honest with you. Joe Gelhard also returned from a back spasm as an unused substitute. Do we think he's going to get any game time? For me, not really. Jamie Shackleton, Stroik, and Stuart Dallas, obviously, all still out for Leeds United. And, of course, new signing for Sheffield Wednesday, Paveda, a loan signing, obviously can't be featured against Leeds United. But for me, the changes I would make and the changes I think will be made, well, I could separate the two. Elnar Dabi Haldjorsen. Sorry, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that game. 3-1 Leeds. 3-1 Leeds. Somerville looks very tired. Well, listen, tired, yes. Tired, yes. And I think he's just a little bit low on confidence. I'm telling you, he gets himself an early goal or goal early doors in this game. Same with Rutter. Gets himself an assist early doors or a goal. I think you'll start to see Rutter and Somerville of last month, yestermonth, shall we say. Because it's just a little bit of low confidence for me. I think they're overthinking things. I think they're trying a little bit too hard. And once they get a goal, once that flow state starts kicking in, I think it could be a completely different story for them. But yes, of me, the changes I would make, obviously Melier for me still stays in goal. Rodon and Perdue, no problems here. Connor Roberts, I actually keep at right back because he's one of the few players starting for Leeds, or that started for Leeds, that hasn't really featured much over the past month, so is going to be quite fit and isn't going to be too tired and heavy-legged. As for the left back, obviously Firpo had a little knock, hence why he was taken out for Byram. He was brought on for 3 or 4 minutes to go. I think the fact he was brought on along with Archie Gray shows that there is intent to start those guys going forward to next week. Or going forward on Friday. So I believe Firpo will come in for Byram, and I think that's the right decision. I would do the same thing because I think even though Byram has been great for us this year, he's not a natural left back. You see it so many times where he's trying to whip in those outside of the foot crosses, and he's cutting in too much, and he's not hugging any natural width, which I think also is actually taken away from Somerville's game. I think that's another reason why Somerville potentially isn't quite hitting the form he is. So I would be putting Firpo in that side instead of Byram. Personally, I think that's what he's going to go for. As for the midfield, again, the question mark for me is who do you take out? Because Archie Gray is going in there 9 times out of 10. I think if we ask anyone here, Archie Gray should be going in. One's in the chat if you believe Archie Gray should be starting in the midfield for Leeds tonight. It's just a matter of either Kamara or Gruev coming back, both of which have looked quite tired, heavy-legged, and not at their best self recently, I have to say. We shouldn't be dropping Somerville, Roberts. We shouldn't be dropping Somerville. Roberts in, Kamara out, and Gray in the midfield. Roberts was already in. Roberts started the last match, so he's already in the starting 11, so he's already in contention for that. That's not a question. If you ask me, as I said, I would keep him in because, as I said, he's one of the few players that hasn't had the amount of game time to which he would be too tired right now. So I think he's fine. And I think Archie Gray does come in. As I said, the question mark is it Kamara or Gruev? Who would you rather take out for Gray? Would you rather take Gruev out? Bit of the pass master, someone who can, bring forward runs every now and again. Not necessarily the same qualities of Archie Gray. Kamara, do I think he would suit Archie Gray better in the midfield more than Gruev would? Yes, I do. I think a midfield of Gray and Kamara would be better than a midfield of Gray and Gruev. But the question mark is, who needs the rest more? I think because you're gonna have a long enough rest anyway, I'd start Kamara and Gray. I'd start Kamara and Gray, to be honest. That's exactly what I would do. Senior Daddy tier subscription. Let me just correct that for you. Senior Daddy tier subscription, Furpo. Yeah, guaranteed should be in at left back. Would be in at left back if I was making the choice, and should be in at left back. Otherwise, there isn't too many other injuries for Leeds to worry about, thankfully. We just got to hope we get through this. But yeah, what about you guys? Is there any other changes you would make to the midfield or defense? Because I think going forward, we are all in agreement as to 90% of the positions going there. And then there's just one contentious one, which I'm very eager to get into with you guys, obviously, coming up in the next few minutes as we just delve through a couple of these more stories. Fark has come out today, actually, saying that he's unhappy with the Leeds United disruption ahead of the Sheffield Wednesday showdown. Phil Hay believes that Daniel Fark is unhappy with the disruption of the flow of matches for Leeds United. Listen. This is where me and Mr. Farkmeister General III have a little bit of a disagreement. I'm not too mad about the fact that we're playing too many games, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not too mad about the fact we've got 6 games here or whatever. It didn't work out great with the Chelsea game coming in between because we ended up losing that. That ruined our winning streak, and I know people don't think much of it. I think that Chelsea game and the fact that we lost it, and especially the manner in which we did and how, soul-destroying that's got to be to lose a game like that, I think that played a big factor into us drawing against Huddersfield on the weekend. I really do. I really, really do. I think had we won that game, had that game not happened then, and we'd still been on our winning streak, I think we would have gone and cleaned them out. I think we would have cleaned them out, and I think we would have carried on the momentum. And I think when you're on a winning streak, you want as many games in as short a period of time. Obviously, not too crazy, but yeah, I think I kind of agree with him. But I think it's good to keep momentum going. And I think the fact that we've had so many games recently is why we've been doing so well recently, if I'm being honest with you. Keep Roberts in because his partnership with Dan James is amazing. Well, that's the next question, mate. Do you guys take Dan James out of the squad, or are you going to start with Dan James? Would you guaranteed start DJ up there? For me, it's a contentious one. I must say. I do really like Nonto. Dan James, I know Nonto kind of, people said played himself into the squad and then played himself out of the squad. I know his form has kind of dipped in the past couple of weeks as well, hence why Dan James came in and he was very good and he scored a goal. It was a great goal, slightly deflected. Yeah, I'd probably start DJ. I'd probably start DJ because he scored as well. You can't really take him out of the side. So I'd start DJ and I'd keep Nonto ready and raring to go on the bench personally. So I would start DJ in there. Obviously, Rutter and Somerville goes without saying. Now, the contentious point goes up front. And whose game is it? Do we go with Mateo Joseph, the man in form, wrecking machine, young, fit, ready to fire on all cylinders? Or do we go with the man whose game this is, with everybody saying PB9? Yeah. Because if you ask me, I think that's where the answer lies. And the answer lies in Patrick Bamford for me. Listen, I love Joseph. I'd love to see him start a game with Rutter in behind him because I think, oh my God, Joseph with Rutter in behind him instead of Perot would just be fucking marvellous, mate. It'd be marvellous because he's got a lot of the same qualities of Bamford in terms of his long stride, in terms of his aerial ability, in terms of his hold-up play, in terms of his ability going back to goal, in terms of his physical attributes, in terms of strength, in terms of holding off midfielders and defenders, in terms of his link-up play and bringing other people into the game. Yes, he's not as much of a shithouse as Bamford. Pressing, I think he's kind of got it. He's got the energy for it, obviously, and he's very young. But he doesn't quite have the knowledge of how to press the same way Bamford does and when to press. So that's something that he needs to learn from and hopefully learn off Bamford. But the one thing he does have more than Bamford is straight line pace, running in behind. He's got a little bit more pace. And Bamford is deceptively quick, actually. He's quite pacey. But Joseph has that deceptive pace. And with Rutter driving forward, if he had Nanto to his right to give the balls to, Somerville giving him an option to his left, and Big Joseph making a storming diagonal through the middle, cutting out to either one of the flanks. It just gives us so many options, and I think it could really elevate his game, and you could see a different Joseph coming out. However, I would still stick with the tried and trusted, proven Patrick Bamford as well. I think he's one of the few players who hasn't had too much game time to the point where he's 100%, he's going to be too tired. Because he hasn't played every game out of the past 10 that we've played. You know what I mean? And he hasn't played every minute. He's played half games. He's played here. He's played there. So I don't think it's a situation where we need to take Patrick Bamford out personally. And actually, not only would I not take him out, I'd start him in the game. I think he could become a vital asset for Leeds. And I think he could be brilliant in disrupting the flow of the Sheffield Wednesday defence. However, what I would do, though, come the 45th minute, don't get me wrong, he's not going to do this. Earliest he's going to make a change is the 60th minute. Most likely he'll make a change in the 70th minute, and it'll be flipping Joel Perot instead of Joseph anyway. But what I would do is I would take Bamford off in the 45th minute and bring Joseph on straight away, straight swap, ready to go. Use his pace and his energy and his dynamism in the second half to kill Wednesday off. That's what I would do. Hi, lad. Are you ready for our win tonight? No? I didn't say that right. Wait, what did you say I should say? I said, are you ready for our win tonight? Yes, I am, my brother. And it's going to be a crushing 4-0 win. What are your scores on the doors, Lee, mate? What are your scores on the doors? They are knackered. I feel like I want to jump out of my seat to give the boys a hand. Tell me about it, mate. You and me both. I live in London, mate. I feel like I want to fly over to Leeds to give them a hand. But yes, that is my conclusive breakdown of the team. As I said, let me know if you guys would make any other changes, any other things. That is my breakdown of the team, and I think we're gonna smash him tonight. I think we're gonna give him a good old rollicking. That's what I think. I think we're gonna absolutely pack him in and batter them, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people have been overly critical of Leeds over the past week or so, and we have been on fine form. And let's be real, there is no competition between Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday, and I'll keep it at that. We are going to absolutely clap those cheeks. Anyway, guys, as I said, please give me your scores on the doors. Lovely to see some of you guys in here. Shout out for the support. Shout out for the 9 goddamn likes. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're liking from, but all I know is you 9 sauce demons are absolute living legends. Shout out to you guys. I love and appreciate you guys so much. I will see you guys very soon. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming tonight. I am going to be going over to DR Sports for the Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou fight card. So I will be over there. So unfortunately, I will not be able to live stream the match, do a watch along. But alas, my match reaction and everything and all further breakdown content will be coming out in the following day, tomorrow on the weekend. And then next week, it will be business as usual, live for the game. Be there or be square. As I said, guys, thank you guys so much for popping in. Let me know your scores on the doors. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. But for now, guys, I will see you very soon. Out of one, my brothers and my